Chris Broussard, co-host First Things First. I think Chris and I have had our reservations about the Lakers. And, Nick Wright's feeling it between the Chiefs and the Lakers. He's had a nice little heater. I will say, though, so I liked them to beat Minnesota. I liked them over Memphis. I did not like them over Golden State. I do think they match up with Denver pretty well. Not a criticism, my concern of Denver, this is a big stage. Any series with LeBron is going to get massive attention nationally. It's not just another playoff series. Any LeBron series is the biggest series in the world. Who do you like and why? What matchup should I keep my eye on in that series?
Well, first of all, because Nick, I know he was on here an hour or two ago bragging, right, about his picks and his Lakers. His picks were Dallas and Philadelphia to reach the NBA Finals. So let's put that out there just to bring him back to size. Those were his picks, all right, in the preseason. So, but this series, look, Colin, you're right. I picked Memphis to beat the Lakers. I picked Golden State to beat the Lakers. But I've learned my lesson. I'm picking the Lakers in this series. I think there are a lot of reasons to like Denver. But you mentioned, the bigger stage is Denver. A lot of their guys are younger. Are they used to this stage? Jokić will be fine, but he's going to need help. I mean, even if he averages a triple-double, a 25 to 30-point triple-double, which he's been doing, they're going to need Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. to step up and hit shots. And that'll be a huge key in this series, whether or not the supporting cast for Jokić. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who in the bubble was playing for the Lakers when they beat this Denver team in the conference finals, he should be fine. I think he'll be a big for Denver. Bruce Brown's got to be big. So it's really the role players of the Nuggets. Do they give Jokić enough support? Yeah. Because one thing I know with the Lakers, I can pencil LeBron in for 20 to 30 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds. AD, I'm not sure, but I think he grew in that previous series. He was more consistent, so I think he can be consistent. And their role players have played well for them, too. So I think this is going to be a great series. I've got the Lakers in 7. But that tells you when you pick a team in 7, it could kind of go either way.
There's a lot of interesting things. Everybody now is on the Jayson Tatum's amazing, and my takeaway is go back even in that series, he disappeared for long stretches. And my guess is Miami's a much better defensive coach team and a better defensive team, much better than Philadelphia, and that they're going to challenge Jayson Tatum much more than Philadelphia. What do you expect the series looks like, Boston and Miami? Nick likes Miami, but I will say this. If you told me all the players in the series, I get one. I would take Jimmy Butler just because of what he becomes. He elevates. What do you think this series will look like for Tatum? What will they try to make him do?
They're going to come up with a great plan. There's no doubt Eric Spoelstra's a fantastic coach, and their guys play hard and play tough. And remember, I think many of us would say Boston was a better team a year ago under Ime Udoka.
Yes.
And Miami took them 7, right? Remember, that was a tough series. So I'm picking Boston, but Miami does scare me. I think Boston, though, wins this series on sheer talent. And Joe Mazzulla can't get bulldozed. He's going to be outcoached, but he has to be somewhat in the ballpark, all right, because he's got the most talent. Like you mentioned, Tatum has been up and down. One thing about Tatum's when his back's against the wall, I mean, he's proven it time and time again. You can go back last year to Game 6 in Milwaukee when they're down 3-2, win or go home, and he has 46. Obviously, what he did on Sunday, which started when they were in danger in Game 6 in Philly, and he was playing horribly. And he comes up with that huge fourth quarter. So he's got to be consistent, though. I don't know. I hope that they've kind of learned over these past 2 series. Why are we playing down to our competition, right? They really should have beat up on Philly in much fewer than 7 games, especially with Embiid missing the first game. Atlanta shouldn't have taken them 6, but they've given away some games.
Yeah.
If they do that against Miami, they could be in trouble. So I hope they've learned to be more consistent. They just got so much more talent.
Yes.
Miami's got 7 undrafted players. And so Boston should win this largely just on their talent. And Tatum, I think he'll step up to the challenge. He's talked about being one of the best players in the world, which he is. I think he would have liked to have been at least got some mention in the MVP race, right? He wasn't even in the sentence. And so I think he'll take the matchup with Butler personally. Maybe not one-on-one, but who's the best player in this series?
Kevin Durant's now running through another coach. He didn't want to work with Kenny Atkinson, who's considered excellent. Steve Kerr, he struggled with. Now Monty Williams, who I would contend is absolutely a top 10 coach. I think he's terrific. He may not be Spoelstra, but he's terrific. There was the Jock Vaughn, I'll see you later. Scott Brooks he worked with for 7 years. And now there's a rumor James Harden to Phoenix. I don't know. It makes Kevin look a little eccentric, a little odd, or am I being too harsh? I don't love what it looks like for Kevin.
No, I don't think you're being too harsh. And you forgot Steve Nash, who he wanted and then didn't want. So now look, the post-Warriors years have not been good for Kevin Durant.
Fair.
We all know he's deserving top 75, probably a top 20 player of all time, first ballot Hall of Famer. That won't change. But I do think his legacy's being a tad diminished because we're seeing he doesn't – you know what he doesn't have to lead a team to championships? The intangibles. He's not a leader by his own admission. He can get mad, but he said it himself in a GQ article in 2017. I'm not a leader, okay? He's not a culture setter like a LeBron or a Steph or a Tim Duncan, okay? He's a great basketball player and, for the most part, a great shooter and scorer. But if you look at all these teams, Colin, he kind of becomes the second guy. Westbrook was a stronger personality. He never usurped that.
Fair.
Kyrie was a stronger personality. Devin Booker now. Whose team is it? It's Devin Booker's team.
Right.
Devin Booker's a stronger personality. Now, Golden State kind of pushed Durant out. He didn't have to be a leader, but, they kind of deferred to him. And so he accepted it. But this is not going well for him. And look, he's got his 2 rings. He was great in those finals and in those seasons, so you can't take that away from him. But he would really do himself well if he could lead Phoenix to a championship somehow. I doubt it, but if he could lead them to a championship, all of these buts and questions about Kevin Durant and his legacy go away.
All right, first things first, it is on fire. It's Broussard having to deal on a daily basis with Nick Wright for an hour and a half. I can barely take 9 minutes. But so this guy deserves extra pay. It's a great show with Kevin Wildes as well. They'll crush it today. First things first. Good seeing you, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.